Well, the UK government is trying to crack down on pub talk. You know, all that extremist bollocks that you talk over a pint? How was that?
That was pretty good.
It's total bollocks. Well, that is dangerous under the new employment rights bill. Critics are calling this the banter ban. So British pub owners could be held liable for offensive or harassing comments made by customers. Now, I ask you, have you ever been around someone who's drunk? How successful are you at telling them to be reasonable in their speech when you're dealing with a drunk person? This is literally what the UK wants to police. It means that if someone's at a bar and makes a politically incorrect joke, the landlord would face consequences. Not the drunk guy, but the landlord. Now, how are you going to control drunk people, I wonder? My father owns a bar.
Are they going to
Go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to say, are they going to take a vote? Like, okay, somebody said that, raise your hand if you were offended. And if one person raises their hand, that's where it goes.
Well, no, because it's even if one of your own employees. So in this scenario, someone takes a job as a bartender and then hears an off-color joke and they report that they're offended by it. Then the landlord, it only takes one offended employee. So how the heck are you going to know how to only hire people who don't get offended, right? And who in this expectation, who thinks that they are not going to be offended by drunk people? Who would go into that scenario?
That's a great way to take out your competition. Just go over there and offend a bunch of people and get that place shut down, and then you're the only bar in town.
Brilliant.
There we go. So my dad.
So the Bull and Moose pub across the street, let's all go over there and say some off-color stuff, and then they'll be held liable and be shut down, and then, you know.
So my dad owns one of the only country line dancing bars in the San Francisco Bay Area, and another one is opening, and they're quite worried about it. So all you'd have to do is go over there and be a drunk bastard.
Yeah.
There you go. Out of business.
Ray Lynch in our chat room on YouTube says that's where the American Revolution started, in the pubs. It did.
Yeah.
All throughout Philadelphia.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, that's where founding fathers would sit on every morning and have a hard cider and talk politics. That's where the revolution began.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, yes, literally. There's a whole scene in Les Miserables about it. It's like, this is where we start revolutions.
Yeah. Go ahead, Philip.
This is dumb. This is one of the dumbest things I think I've heard any government come up with. If I was putting together a list of the stupidest things the government has tried to push, this is on it. Because seriously,
it's kind of like social media it's almost like having the social media platforms be responsible for someone's tweet, right? I mean, it's in many ways it's the same thing in a digital form, but now you've got a pub where that's the platform. The pub is the platform. And so what is it, the idea that you've sort of platformed a few drunk people that have made some off-color anti-Muslim remarks about immigration in your city? Shut them down.
But is it just because pubs is short for public house? It's a public place. So that's that's slightly different between a tweet, because that's a private company hosting these things. This is just if they're going to make But like where
but the pub is still private.
So
it's still it's on a public square.
Well, does carry
but let's make a distinction here. We're focusing on the pub, but these rules will also apply in a Starbucks, in a department store, in
a football stadium.
It's ridiculous.
In what they call a garage, right? Like it will be anywhere that you are offended. It's the business owner will be responsible for that.
Well, like I said, like a football stadium. So if one team is offended because somebody's cheering for the other team, like does that
That's a good point.
Look at all the places.
This is why these morons, they have nothing better to do. You've literally got in the UK, your country is collapsing under the weight of open borders. The pensioners don't have pensions anymore because you've given the money away to millions of illegal immigrants. But you're worried about people being offensive at a pub or a Starbucks? It's crazy.
Yes. Yeah, so let us know what you think of this. I mean, what the supporters are saying is that this is about workplace safety. So we're telling employees that wherever you go, you have the right to not be offended, which is not true. It's not one of our human rights, but they're trying to make it one. And in reality, it's preemptive strike on free speech.
I know I've brought it up before, but this is Stuff like this, it's like if anybody hasn't read the book Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury, I mean that's what this is. Like a society that is so afraid to offend anybody that they remove all art, all books, all like basically they remove anything. There's only like government controlled like propaganda. That's all you can read. That in the Bible in Fahrenheit 451. That's it. And so that's what happens when you try so hard to make sure nobody gets offended, you can't do anything.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
and that's, you don't have to read.
Offended.
Go ahead.
Let David finish.
Well, I was going to say, it's subjective. So it's like you always have to go to the weakest person among them is the one that can close the whole thing down. So it's like, because it's subjective. It's a subjective thing. One thing that would offend me wouldn't offend you.
Right. And who's going to be the police of it? Well, I mean, this is like, you wouldn't even have to read Fahrenheit 451. You could just literally look at Mao's China. It's exactly what they did, banning all forms of entertainment, all forms of contradictory speech, music, everything. The only thing you were allowed to read if you wanted entertainment was the teachings of Mao. So that's where you're heading with this type of behavior.
How are you going to have comedy? How are you going to make, right? Like, think of Fawlty Towers, some of your favorite English.
Oh, they banned,
you
banned
could
Fawlty
not
Towers.
have anybody on that production set because somebody's going to find those jokes offensive, and then you literally have nothing, right? So
You're just going to have to revert back to slapstick.
Yeah,
you're going to have to revert back to slapstick comedy.
I mean, as much as I don't consider it art at all, like the guy that nailed the cheese to the wall as like an art piece, like is that like, if that offends vegans? Now is that art house like in trouble?
Yeah.
You know, I guess museums are now in trouble. I mean, this is, thank God we live in America. I thank my lucky stars. Anyway, let us know your thoughts on that.